male black with dreadlocks wearing a white tank top, and the offender was inside of a white Mercedes. That's what we got a ticket saying. The offender was in a white Mercedes, male black dreads, white tank top. Alright, and then we got another ticket says it's a 4-door white vehicle with tinted windows, newer model, that was going towards Maryland. Fire shots from the gas station. Going towards Maryland now.
That was going towards Maryland. Fire shots from the gas station. Going towards Maryland now.
Yo, face! Show your face, please, with sugar on top!
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, just hours ago, Jarocity member Lil Mikey was shot and unalive, and since his passing, there's been a lot going on, as well as rumors about what transpired. Some say it was an altercation that went too far, leading him to lose his life. Then others say that it was his ops that finally caught him lacking, leading him to lose his life. However, you have those, specifically those who are close to him, that have said that it wasn't the ops at all that did anything to Lil Mikey, which indicates that if the ops didn't do it, then it was someone affiliated with him, making it a backdoor situation. Now here's the same thing I've been saying forever when it comes to Chicago and how big that backdoor culture have become. I told y'all before that once you got these big artists such as Lil Durk or Young Thug or any of these known drill rappers call themselves snakes, slimes, backdoor kings, that the younger generation growing up was going to follow suit. And since then, we've seen backdoor situations at an all-time high where guys are losing their lives at the hands of their own friends. At this point, who needs enemies when you have friends like this? Back in the day, if you had differences with your friend, y'all may fight it out or simply just keep your distance from each other. But no matter how much y'all hated each other, it was never even a thought to take your friend's life. Whereas now, these young guys are taking each other's lives over the smallest of things. Now in this situation with Lil Mikey, we've learned that things may have gotten a little deeper between him and other members affiliated with the same sets as him. So yeah, they was cool, but they say once you cross a certain line, there's no coming back from it. And as y'all know, they say what goes around, damn sure comes right back around, and that's what we're hearing transpire with Lil Mikey. Now in the last video we told y'all the fact that they said in a news article that before Lil Mikey was shot and unalive, there was an argument between him and the suspect, which lets us know that whoever it was that did it to him, he had to know, because if it was your op, there's no talking. Similar to how we seen in the THF Bezu shooting when his ops jumped out on him and ultimately did just what they did. Rest in peace. Now, since the Lil Mikey shooting, the people who seem to know more about what happened, who is close to Lil Mikey in the situation, of course would expose themselves. As y'all know, whenever something happens, these guys have to let you know that they know what's going on. Now keep in mind that all of this happened in broad daylight at 11:30 in the morning with a gas station not too far and close to the University of Chicago, which means there was a lot of surveillance present in that area. So I'll give it about a few days before we see the CCTV footage come out, and it'll show us exactly what happened, giving us a better take on how everything transpired. Now I'm not going to name names because of course this is an open investigation despite some of these guys already doing the police's work, but I'm gonna keep it general so y'all can follow what led up to Lil Mikey losing his life and how he got backdoored by the same people he may have felt that he could trust. So before we get into everything, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hype and like the video so we can get it into the algorithm, and if you not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it.
What happened? I don't know.
Now, this information was exposed to us yesterday, not too long after the shooting of Lil Mikey taking place. But instead of us rushing to the internet to say anything incriminating, we rather waited first, and I think by now, majority of the people paying attention knows what's going on. But none of this is rocket science, and it's not like anyone is getting any exclusive information, but let's try to explain what's going on. It's said that a certain somebody from a set was shot and almost lost their life in the process. They survived, but that certain somebody was family members with another person who was also close to Lil Mikey in STL St. Lawrence. So when the person got shot, his family member who was affiliated with STL decided to choose family over anything and go against the grain. Now keep in mind, the original person who was shot last month, just a little over a month ago, so it didn't take long for everything to transpire. And I know some of y'all probably want names and more in-depth information, but once again, it's an ongoing case. Just know he was unalive due to someone being shot, and he was backdoored by someone who was affiliated with him and the other person who was shot. Now, if you don't believe the backdoor rumors, here's a few indications that is true by people who are closely tied to Lil Mikey. First, it'll be his god brother, who will hint towards a backdoor situation after the news came out by posting a story using Chief Keef's song Close That Door and captioned it saying, quote, "Stop bapping, chat." This is because as soon as the news came out, everyone who was considered ops, especially O Block, would end up dissing and acting as if they had something to do with the shooting of Lil Mikey. They were saying things like, everybody who go against this ish gonna feel pain, and other slick comments that kind of hinted towards them having something to do with it. And even if they aren't claiming it directly, it's those indirect insults that make people who don't know what's going on assume that they had something to do with it, or just confused, period. Which is also on a spectrum of false claiming as well, if you ask me. Now also the fact that the news articles explain that there was an argument that transpired, let us know as well that Lil Mikey had to know whoever the suspect was. The 911 audio response call has since been released to give a little more details on the shooting. Y'all check this out.
Alright, Units at 3, we're getting a call of shots fired, person shot, 83060 63rd Street, 63 in Drexel, stand by for simulcast. Now we're getting a call of a person shot, 63rd in Drexel. Call is reporting a male has been shot next to the gas station.
302 Sam, squad, it looks like they might be trying to put the victim into a silver Nissan.
Alright, looks like they're trying to put the victim in a silver Nissan.
233 boys, one on day, still transporting?
He said he's seen
Well, the car is
them in the
still on
vehicle.
scene.
Alright, the car is still on scene.
So it seemed like maybe they had thoughts of putting him in the silver Nissan, but you have those that feel that whenever somebody gets shot, you're not supposed to move them, leave them. So maybe they thought to put him in the silver Nissan, and then somebody said, no, don't move him, wait for the ambulance, and they decided, I guess, to just keep him there.
Alright, he's on the street right now. It doesn't look like they're self-transporting.
Is there a way we can get a playback of the vehicle?
Alright, it says the offender is a male black with dreadlocks wearing a white tank top, and the offender was inside of a white Mercedes. That's where we got a ticket saying the offender was in a white Mercedes, male black dreads, white tank top.
Alright, so whoever it was, which is crazy. So they couldn't have been too masked up or anything like that, and if he got tattoos, then it's pretty much over. Because as y'all seen, it was the gas station right there. There's other surrounding businesses that I'm sure got surveillance. So at the end of the day, they're gonna see whatever tattoos he may have had. They said he got dreadlocks, whatever the case may be, but I'm sure it wouldn't be long before they find a suspect.
Alright, and then we got another ticket says it's a four-door white vehicle with tinted windows, newer model, that was going towards Maryland. Fire shots from the gas station, going towards Maryland now. And it's...
Now you hear what she said, going towards Maryland. For y'all that know a little bit about Chicago and what sets rep where, you could kind of almost, I wouldn't say predict, but put your own assumptions on who you think did what.
Is this bonafide? Over there on 6th in Drexel, is this bonafide?
Bonafide.
Anyone can tell us what part of the body? Okay, multiple gunshot wounds. 10-4. Did the ambulance get on?
All right, so yeah, so the news article said that he was shot once in the chest, right? Or they made it seem like he was just shot in his chest. They never said it was multiple gunshot wounds or none of that. But judging from this police audio call, they are saying that he was shot multiple times. They don't know where, they don't know how many times, but they said that he was shot multiple times.
Say yet? 26314.
Yeah, weapon recovered.
Alright, weapon recovered at 11:38 hours.
I got the name of Michael Rick.
Alright, CPR is being performed.
As of right now, it's critical.
So they saying he's in critical condition even though CPR is being performed. And if y'all caught it, they said that a weapon was found, I'm assuming, on the scene, right? A weapon was retrieved. So a lot of people think that maybe he just got shot and no, right? A weapon was found on the scene, which I'm pretty sure belonged to him. Now, was it a shootout going back and forth and he just got caught out there? Who knows? But like I told y'all before, there is going to be CCTV footage that's going to show everything that transpired. Look, the gas station is literally right there.
Alright, 10-4.
224.
Alright, 224 has custody at 11:39. Well, it's 11:40 hours. One in custody, 11:40 hours.
Alright, so there you have it, y'all. It seemed like whatever happened may have transpired at the gas station and he was probably walking away to his car, right? Maybe he was getting into that gray Nissan and maybe somebody shot him from behind, stood over him, because I see a couple people say that he was stood over. We're not sure, but judging from how they saying everything transpired, maybe he was coming from the gas station, seen somebody, they got into it, and then next you know, he got shot a bunch of times and he fell out into the street. Or maybe he got shot, tried to run to his car, and then fell out in the street right by the car. Who knows? Another person who let it be known that it wasn't no ops that did anything to Lil Mikey happened to be Billionaire Black. Billionaire Black would take to his IG story to say, quote, "No ops did nothing to little bro. Y'all chasing that edge." Now, if you know anything about Billionaire Black and Lil Mikey, you would understand that they have that same relationship that we were speaking earlier about when I said that even though guys may not be the best of friends, they wouldn't want to see anything done to each other. Yeah, they was at odds, but it was nothing to the point where they wished death on each other. It was just tough love. In the interview Lil Mikey did with No Jumper, here's what he had to say about Billionaire Black.
Come on. Is Billionaire around too? Man, I ain't know you and Billionaire had smoke. Why
You on the press list too?
What's up with you and Billionaire?
I don't f with him, bro. Cause look, like, we cool and shit, right? I post him off that I f with, and he don't f with him. He like, man, he said, he be saying F this person. Okay, you be saying F every motherfucking nigga mama, and you don't even be in Chicago, like. And you be talking about Scrooge G, but Scrooge G came to Chicago. You need to come to Chicago. You be talking all that shit about people, doing all that whooping in your raps, all that whooping in your rhymes, but you don't even come to Chicago. I ain't on no bullshit with him, none of that shit, bro. But like, I ask you to post my shit, you leave me on scene. You feel what I'm saying?
Now, interesting enough, Billionaire Black will expose that right before Lil Mikey was shot and unalive, he was trying to call him. He also been trying to call him for 2 days now. He would take to his IG to expose the call log showing that Mikey tried to get in contact with him, as he would caption it, staying quote, "Shaking my head at Lil Mikey. I was asleep, mud. What the F was you trying to tell me? I just missed your calls 2 days in a row. It was 7 in Iraq and 9 my time. Damn, now you got my head effed up." Now this is interesting because if you know anything about Billionaire Black's affiliation with a certain side, it's a possibility that Billionaire Black could have made some calls and this situation possibly would have never happened. This is why Billionaire Black is saying that he wished he didn't miss the calls, because he wants to know what Mikey had to say, especially considering who's being accused of doing what they did, and him getting a call from Mikey just an hour before his life was taken. Billionaire Black would even do a video and post it to his YouTube explaining what happened with Mikey trying to get in contact with him right before his demise. Y'all check this out.
We were beefing, but Lil Mikey stayed calling my phone every other day, you feel me? And I'm making this video today because it really f***ed me up, because Lil Mikey just called me this morning. I'm gonna insert the video at the end of the screenshot at the end of the video. Lil Mikey called me 9 o'clock Arizona time, which is 7 o'clock Chicago time. And I missed the call. I was high as hell, I was asleep. Yesterday I tried to call him. He didn't answer. This morning I missed his call. I rolled over to King Yellow waking me up, and half of the hood calling me. Saying Lil Mikey was dead. It's with my head because what if I answered the phone and could have prevented what was going on? If I answered the phone, was he trying to tell me? You feel me? Like, it's really with me. Like, it's mind-boggling for real, bro. Like, I'm thinking about it for the rest of the month, the rest of the week. Like, gonna be in my head. Like, what was he trying to tell me? He called me 2 days in a row, twin, on the dog. Lil Mikey called me 2 days in a row. I missed the calls. He called me this morning. The next hour, he was dead. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. Chicago is a f***ing death zone.
I don't know, y'all. I just want to know why Billionaire never got back to Mike. Because if he was calling you days in a row, that means you had to see it at some point in time. Everyone has their phone in their hands or somewhere close to them at all times. So you either seen his call and you seen a notification of a missed call. So why didn't he get back in contact? The only thing I could think of is maybe he just didn't feel like talking, because we all go through that at a point in time. Or maybe he seen that it was Lil Mikey, and due to their differences, he didn't want to talk to him at all. However, maybe if he knew this was going to happen, I'm sure he would have probably picked the phone up, but who knows? Now here's where the self-incrimination comes in, as we break down what it could possibly mean when it comes to these posts. Now the first one would be a post where a certain someone would post a firearm showing the bullet intake for that weapon, as it says 223 and 556. As you can see in the comments of the story, multiple people are telling him to delete that post. Then on top of that, he will post blood emojis with the acronym BDG1, where many believe the BDG is in reference to Backdoor'd gang, but I'll leave that up to y'all. Then he will also take to another story and play Bloodhound Little Jeff's song, Ah, and in the line he specifically said, quote, "Them ninjas did what they did and had to pay the consequence." If you've been paying attention to everything that was said, then that part will make a lot of sense. But then in the next slide, he would caption the picture saying, quote, "If you ninjas know what I know, then you know what's up. Bleed emoji." Now lastly, he will repost Bloodhound Little Jeff with a subliminal message. Keep in mind that everything we just spoke on was posted immediately after Lil Mikey was unalive.
We spank records. We spank crazy. Y'all know we spank. Ain't nigga in the video want they ass spank. Come talk to us. We spank as a record. Hold on. And I'm not in.
Now it's a lot more between certain guys where they even get on spaces and speak. And I'm not gonna go that far. Clearly these guys don't care about incriminating themselves, because if they did, all of this wouldn't be on social media. But I'll let y'all find the rest yourselves and come to your own conclusions. On another note, you have some people that was close to Lil Mikey and reacted to him losing his life. Surprisingly, but not so surprising, you had FBG Butter, who was into it with Lil Mikey, as they both let it be known on many occasions. Butter will repost one of his interviews speaking on his friends in response to the shooting, and it had an undertone of what he was trying to say about Lil Mikey. Y'all check this out.
It's certain niggas in my life, like, I love that nigga to death, but hell no, I'm not dying for your bullshit though.
Right.
Because if you ain't gonna die for your bullshit, why would I die for it?
Amen.
That's the only way. Like, nigga, if you willing to go all out for it and you my brother.
Then you have guys like 600 Trigger, who had more of a positive message for everyone around him, letting it be known that even if we don't see eye to eye, we don't have to be at war. We're grown enough where we could disagree and still be friends. Considering that he also knows what happened with Lil Mikey. He would take to his IG story to say, quote, "Trying my best to stay away from people who look at life as a game. Wanting to see the next MF lose or down, or want to be a reason that MF going through some ish that's not beneficial. Only want positive people around me who want the best for you, even if they don't always agree or see eye to eye with you." Now with Mimo being Mimo, y'all know he don't let up. Whether you alive or to the grave. If you was into it with him when you was alive, he's carrying that same energy even when you aren't. He would post a meme of Boozy with laughing emojis in the comments of the story, and that's pretty self-explanatory. But here's the thing I find interesting, y'all. Maybe it's just me, but I really find it crazy that it said that this man just came home from doing 13 years in prison just a year ago. Like, when you really think about it, it's crazy. This man didn't even get a chance to enjoy life on any level. It's like he literally spent his whole life in jail, when you think about it, came home, and then was unalive. Like I stated in the last video, it's like jail be saving a lot of these guys. As crazy as it sounds, unfortunately, he probably would still be here if he was incarcerated. Crazy. Y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, hype, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm gonna keep on dropping. I'm out. Are you tired of a bunch of social media gurus promising you results with their course, but all they do is take a bunch of information off YouTube and Google, then sell it to you? Well, look no further. Our YouTube Tips and Tricks Masterclass course comes equipped with SEO tips and tricks, along with methods we use to growth hack our YouTube channel. It also includes step-by-step ways to publish your video before uploading to guarantee a great SEO score, therefore your videos can rank and be shown to a bigger audience. Views and subscribers don't come by luck, and just how YouTube have an algorithm, you should have one as well that can guarantee you results. We doing websites and softwares we personally use to generate money creating Faces YouTube channels. If you also would like to skip the process and just buy other pre-built accounts, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, we also threw that in there for you too. We went through trial and error, so you don't have to. Click the link in the description or the comments and get started today.